What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce. Throwing balls, bend the corner, set my mind up on a goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
Welcome in. We have made it to week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. Labor Day is over. The chill is in the air. We are back for game week, man. It's great to hear. We have some real football being played. The Chiefs have a long flight ahead of them to head to Brazil to play said game for no reason other than the NFL just likes to be mean, I guess. And so the Chargers are awaiting the Chiefs in Sao Paulo. CJ, DG, how you guys feeling? We are here with real football, man.
It's time.
Pack your bags, baby.
Finally time. The season is finally upon us, man. Friday night, no more training camp videos. No, nice. I'm always here. What you mean? I'm always here. Mo, where you been?
King Mo said you ain't been here, gang.
Nah, I've been here.
Mo said you been out.
Yeah, man. Nice to see finally no more like training camp videos, no more practices, stuff like that. Now it's real deal, full go, full pads, real playbook, no vanilla plays. It's time, man. It's finally time. Chiefs about to take the field, and I'm excited, dog. Like I can't wait, especially this international stage.
What Vin Diesel say in Fast and Furious 5? We going to Brazil? Ain't that what he said? Ain't that how you say it?
Brazil. This is Brazil.
This is where we going. You feel me? Football's here. No, like DG said, I'm super excited. Week 1, get to play the phone Chargers. It's always up whenever we see them. From a fan perspective, it's always a good game. You know, every time we play the Chargers, it's always a good bump. Usually comes down to the last minute, game-winning field goal, game-winning decision type thing. So, great way to start the season. I just crossed my fingers, fellas. I don't care how we win the game. Just please, God, no injuries. Please. I hate that field. I didn't like the fact we had to go over here in the first place, but we're here now. So hopefully we've taken precautions, put all the extra long studs in your cleats if you have to, whatever things you need to do to make sure we can have, good traction and good play when we're out there. So overall, like DG said, I'm super excited. Football's in the air. You can smell it. It's cooler mornings when you're leaving the house, going to school or going to work, dropping your kids off. This Friday is Red Friday. You can get your flags at your local McDonald's. All those things are back. So it's definitely feeling like football season again. Got a good Labor Day weekend of college football. So I'm super, super pumped for Thursday, but more importantly for Friday too.
Definitely had a good weekend of college football. Obviously, we had some DG and Trey, calls as far as picking those games that ended up working out. And DG unfortunately did not have a good weekend up there in Columbus, Ohio, of course, as Texas ended up going down. Mizzou did beat the crap out of Central Arkansas. And now we got the border war. So the Chiefs fans get to be all together on Friday and immediately hate each other starting right after the game.
It's a beautiful
it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday. But, of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves. At the end of last show, we ended up getting the 53-man roster, which was hilarious to have that in real time and be able to react to it. At the time, we didn't necessarily have the context of everything that would go into it. And obviously, one of the big things was, hey, we are going to have 8 wide receivers on this roster. And then all of a sudden, we're going to have 6 guys that are going to be available in Brazil because Rashee Rice did receive his 6-game suspension as well. And, of course, Jalen Rolls is expected to be out in week 1 against the Chargers. And so this wide receiver core will look like Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown did speak today. He's excited to get out there. It doesn't seem like he has any limitations. Andy Reid said he's excited to see him. Juju Smith-Schuster, also Jason Brownlee and Tyquan Thornton and Nico Remigio ready to roll as well. So that was kind of the wide receiver aspect of it. We also had some defensive line movement. Obviously, Derek Knighty in and then Mike Pennell out and now on the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. They also brought over Zach Pickens and Broderick Martin to add to the practice squad over here in Kansas City for some athletic youth as far as the defensive line is concerned. And the only thing that I really want to ask you guys is anything in the last week kind of surprised you as far as the moves? And specifically, how do you feel about the whole Mike Pennell's gone, Rasheed suspended, and now, it seems like Jalen Warren's out a week at least?
Oh, I wouldn't say nothing surprising for real.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah, the Mike Pennell situation. I understand, the how certain fans fall in love with, certain personalities of this team. I like Mike Pennell. I've always
we all do.
We all
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
We all, love the guy that he is. At the end of the day, guys, it's still a business, man. You still have to make decisions that are tough. I'm going to assume that, this decision for Mike Pennell not to be on this team was not personal or anything. But at the end of the day, these players are competitive, and anything they can use for motivation, they're gonna use. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, Mike Pennell's got a family to take care of, and this is your job. So if another team comes calling, like you gotta answer the call. Like can't sit around and wait for the Chiefs to get to January or whatever. I mean, he may still be around. You never know. Like, we don't know what's gonna actually happen, if he's gonna make the Bengals roster at some point in time. He's still on their practice squad. So I would love to have Mike Pennell here, but I think ultimately the Chiefs decided that they were gonna go younger and a lot more athletic at that position. I think this says a lot about how they feel about Omar Norman Lott at this point or whatever, and how confident they feel in him being able to go out there and do his job as well. And we'll see how that plays out for them, if that's a good decision or if that's a bad decision, So, I wish Mike Pennell all the best. Hopefully it doesn't work out so that he does get to come back here and make a run with us in January and February. And we'll see where he lies down at the end of the road. So, what was the last part of your question too?
No, that was I mean, the Rashee Rice aspect of it is just, hey, we talked about that and beat that in the ground. CJ, how do you feel about that defensive line primarily?
No, same thing. You got to get younger at positions. Hate to see Mikey P go. He's been a pillar of this run defense for the last 2 years. We've been arguably the best run defense in the league the last couple of years for a reason. He's been a big part of that. He definitely was a big part of our championship run in 2023 and 2022, apparently. So when he popped onto the scene middle of the season when we grabbed him, like DG said, hopefully cross our fingers, knock on wood in a good way, that if it doesn't work out in Cincy and they want to release him from practice squad, we can pick him up again later on after the bye or before the bye. That would be great to see him come back and finish one last ride with us. I definitely think Mikey P toward the end of his career, he will probably tell you the same thing. He's a great player. I think he can still make impact plays, but you got to get younger at certain positions, and they decided to make a decision on Mike. So wish they could have made that probably before he went to training camp. I'm sure he didn't want to go through the grueling St. Joe 3 weeks.
That's probably what he's mad about.
Yeah, I'd be mad. Like, if you went through all that, I would like to know if I'm going to make the team or not. So that part definitely is a little bit of annoying, but like, he knows how this business works, man. You could be top of the mountain one day, then get cut and released the next day, and you never know. So especially with a guy that's trying to, continuously prove himself every year. And that goes for all guys who are UDFAs, late round picks. You're always trying to prove yourself and show why you deserve your worth on the team. Especially when you hit over 30, get over that hill, most teams start to look at you like, hey, can we get younger in this position? And when you're drafting guys like Omar, bringing in guys like Tillery, you brought back Nadi, that kind of told you how they felt about Mike Pennell in the room. So we'd love to have him back if the situation is available for him towards the end of the year, middle of the year. But for now, we've got to roll with the guys we got, man. But the standard's still the standard. You have to stop the run up front. That's been one of our strengths of our defense the last 2 years. So it all starts with 9-5, and everybody else just has to do their part.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously 9-5 has a lot on his plate per usual for what this defense is going to end up looking like. And so with that being said, the other piece of news that we had kind of recently, Nate Taylor of ESPN did put out an article, a report saying that there is not expected to be a Trent McDuffie extension done before the season ends up.
DJ, you got lucky, boy.
Which saves DG's life.
The hair lives on, fellas.
He got lucky.
The hair lives on, dog.
I had them clippers ready, DMac. I was about to come snip them hoes myself. I was like, come here. I was about to snip them hoes.
I believe you. So yes, the savior of DG's locks was, of course, Trent McDuffie and the Chiefs not reaching an extension. Again, multiple reasons why this could have happened. The agents could have said, "Hey, we want to decide to wait to not get this done." Obviously, the Chiefs, Brett Veach kind of gave it a little bit of indication again during the preseason game, talking about rolling some of the money over. I think that is something to watch, as well as they maybe are planning out some extensions. Obviously, for Trent McDuffie being a part of it, we also talked about kind of briefly about Rashee Rice possibly being an extension candidate based on what the end of this season is going to end up looking like as well. So that is certainly going to be something to watch too. So I mean, it's unfortunate, I suppose, but it's not the end of the world. Like, again, would have been nice to be done during this offseason. It was a big priority for me personally, but I'm not somebody that's going to freak out over the fact that it's not done currently. Now, yeah, when I have the conversation about him or Karlaftis, which one you extended, that one I can certainly listen to. Anything you guys got as far as Trent McDuffie not getting the extension done?
No, I'm not surprised. I think that the Chiefs kind of know the position that they're already in. As far as his contract, you still have the 5th-year option, as well as being able to tag him for another additional year if they wanted to do that and go that route. I don't think it gets to that point. I think that it does get to a point where they probably end up extending him next year before the season kind of starts and kicks off or whatever. And I think it's like you said, I think it kind of falls in line with him and probably Rashee are the probably 2 players that are up next for extensions at this point. I think they get $28 million back from the Jawan Taylor contract or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That they can roll over and use or something like that.
So. Mm-hmm.
So I think that right now it's more so if they were kind of just set where they were at as far as financially this year. There's no need to really rush it or anything. If he goes out there and he has another great year, then the price gets up, and you're just gonna have to pay what he's owed at this point. So yeah, I'm not shocked at it at all. I kind of think it's kind of in his best interest, probably from his agent's perspective too, to kind of wait and see where he's going to be at after this year. And then, if he, like I said, if he puts together another all-pro year, then he'll probably be the highest paid corner in the league. So,
I will have earned it in my personal opinion as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Obviously,
3
as far as
straight
the Chiefs-
all-pros be more than worthy of the highest paid corner in football, for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
As far as the Chiefs' salary cap is concerned, next year they're projected to have about negative $45 million in cap space as it currently stands. That is with Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones combining for a little bit north of $130 million currently, and so we could say pretty safely, or 120 something, 120 million essentially. There will be something done, obviously, with both of those numbers. But as far as the Jawan Taylor contract, he would save $20 million against the cap as well. So there'll be some things that they do to mitigate, obviously, where they're at cap-wise going into next offseason as well. And that is something to talk about next offseason because we have an entire year full of football ahead of us. So now it being game week, we obviously have some injury storylines to talk about. Like I mentioned, Jalen Royals is expected to be out week 1. Omar Norman-Lott was the only limited player in practice today outside of obviously Jalen Royals not being out there. There was some concern as far as Jawan Taylor. He talked about, going on the plane and possibly needing to have his knee drained again. Let's just, I don't know if there's anything major you guys want to hit as far as this is concerned, but Omar Norman-Lott and Jawan Taylor, really, let's talk about those 2 players specifically because we know Wells is out. Anything, that you have really concerned about for either one of those players?
Jawan concerns me just because if this is going to affect your performance the same way it kind of did last year, then we probably need to go a different direction for the first couple of weeks of the season until we can get this injury kind of sorted out and figured out. I thought it was also said that he had a scope in the offseason at some point or whatever. So is this the same knee that's still flaring up or – so did it get fixed correctly or is it another setback or I don't know. At this point, that kind of concerns me, especially heading into Friday. I mean, going into this game, it's not like you're extremely worried about the Chargers pass rush. in that sense. But it would be nice for him to be fully healthy and be able to be a full go. But if he's not able to do that, I would advise that they probably go in a different direction and maybe starting Jalen Moore and thinking about that option as well.
No, absolutely. Everything is on the table at this point. Obviously, Juwan, we knew he had the offseason surgery or adjustment, like DG said earlier. Right after the season, he was playing through the ACL. So credit to him for being a trooper and not complaining and go out there and doing his job last year. But definitely, you want to see this get cleaned up, so we don't have to worry about this throughout the season. Hopefully, him getting his knee drained this week is kind of like the final step, fellas, and like getting it all cleared up and ready for the season. Obviously, we know they leave earlier than normally because we're going to Brazil, so they're probably going to hit on the plane, I'm guessing, tomorrow when they leave out. So definitely you want to see them get this over with so we don't have to talk about this in the coming weeks. If we're still hearing about this reports like week 2, week 3, week 4, then I'll start to be concerned. But for now, I'll put it on the back burner. It's probably like a 2 or a 3 for me on that scale. Not really as concerned. Maybe this is like the final cleanup, tune-up to get it all souped and ready to go and get it tightened up for the season. Definitely have Jalen Moore as a fallback, like DG said earlier. That's what you bring him in for. He's your swing tackle for a reason. That's what you paid him for, to be here for these situations. If anything happens to, knock on wood, Juwan or Josh, if anything is in that realm, that's where Juwan can come, or basically can come in and step up if given the opportunity. So not necessarily worried about it now. Just hopefully this doesn't linger on throughout the season. But for now, I think we're good to go week 1. And as far as Omar, no, we haven't talked about Omar yet.
No, you can go ahead. Yeah.
No, as far as Omar, obviously he's going to be in the rotation. There's a lot of expectations on him because he's a second-round pick. But from a football standpoint in that locker room, he's not expected to be the every down starter in this room, and we know that. That's why you bring in guys like Nadi. That's why you bring in guys like Tillery. Obviously, we know Charles is going to get some reps inside. There's going to be multiple guys who are going to play inside along with him. So it's not like he has to have to bury the load of being the every down 3 tech next to Chris or knows wherever they decide to put him at. So I think Omar's in a good spot because he has a lot of veterans around him. Would have loved to have been Mike Pennell, been that guy next to him, but they decided to go with Nadi. But Nadi's been here. He's playing a lot of big moments. Doesn't really offer you much from a pass rush standpoint, but does he know how to do his job? Does Spags and more so Joe Cullen trust him? That's something you have to put on the field. That's something that's invaluable for a lot of different players. So obviously any of the rookies I don't have expectations for the first 8 to 10 weeks. I want to see how they adjust to playing NFL speed, adjust to their coaching, adjust to their adjustments. And then after the bye week, which is week 10 for us, then we start seeing them picking up speed and start having high impact moments for this team and this roster overall. So overall for Omar, I'm not expecting too much. I just want him to be healthy. I want that ankle to be healthy and 100% ready to go. That's probably the biggest question for me. I'm more concerned about his ankle injury than Juwan's knee, personally, in my opinion. Because what I saw from Juwan in camp and the preseason game, he looked like himself. So I think this procedure he's getting is more so just like a cleanup before he leaves. So I want to see can Omar have that burst and that aggressiveness that we saw at Tennessee back on the field. That's the biggest thing I want to see.
Yeah. And I think that he's in a kind of an interesting position given the fact that they have brought back some of the, different nose, tackle options and run stuffers. Obviously, Derek Nadi coming back. Zach Pickens, Broderick Martin going on to the practice squad. Are they more willing to allow him to play like he did at Tennessee as a gap shooter, as a guy that can create havoc and being able to put offensive linemen off balance by being able to attack them side to side more than trying to just push them straight through? So if that is a development that we end up getting coming into the season, I would be a lot more elated and more, optimistic about what the secondary pass rush is going to look like, because that was something that I was concerned about during the preseason, and obviously him and how he looked was a part of it too. We did have Matt from the Chiefs, I should say, post the week 1 injury report. Nothing really of note other than that we just talked about. Najee Harris, a full participant with his 4th of July eye incident, and then Elijah Molden is limited, and we'll see what ends up happening.
Hi, my name is Najee Harris.
I'm sorry, that's not funny. I shouldn't be.
Hi, my name is Najee Harris.
It's CJ's fault.
What I do? Hi, my name is Najee Harris. I play for the Chargers.
Don't play with fireworks, kids.
Hey, bro, he's a grown man, bro. You can't figure this out by now.
Yeah.
You don't care.
Play with fireworks, kids.
Get out the way.
Back it up and put it in reverse, there.
Back it up, put it in reverse.
Back it up, Terry. Oh, Terry.
All right, that's
bro.
not
He was in that wheelchair like this, and I can't move.
Terry, what you doing?
Terry, move your eyes. He's like, I can't move.
Hopefully, Najee Harris is okay.
We are so.
It seems like he is. He's going to play a football game, so I guess he's got to be okay.
I mean,
right?
he had his goggles on during his interview, so I mean, from what I saw, I didn't see too much like scars or anything. So, but you know,
One of them miss an eye or anything like that.
Boy was running here like this. Only run the ball to the right. Don't run to the left. I can't see over there.
I suppose he's going to be okay. All right. With that being said, before we get into that Chargers matchup specifically, we do have a little bit of 2025 season kind of overview is. And for those that do not know, we were on Kingdom Cast on Thursday night to kind of talk about our bold predictions. So definitely go and watch that show for some of our bold predictions. We'll be tweeting it out from the account as well coming up. But we do have a few things, breakout players, some scheme stuff, and concern excitement. So let's get straight to it. DG and CJ, who are your breakout players for the season coming up? You only need one. I don't know why I said players, but
breakout. Well, I've been talking about this guy pretty much since last year, but I feel like he's gonna be the predominant breakout player for this team. Ever since I seen him do this on a cold Christmas day in Pittsburgh, I knew we had a goon on our team. Jaden Hicks to me is probably gonna be the breakout player of this team. I think he's gonna lead the team in interceptions again, just as he did last year. I think this kid has all the instincts in the world, man. And yeah, Jaden Hicks, all the instincts in the world. I think Spags is going to put him in a position of not putting him in too much pressure of having to play in the too high role or anything like that, but kind of more of in that star position where he can kind of roam and just make plays with pure instinct or whatever, and use him and then in that kind of in that third safety kind of role which he can thrive in. So I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to do, how much he changes the secondary for them. I know that there'll still be a little bit of growing pains at points in time, just how he plays and things of that nature. So I would tell some fans to err with caution, if he's inclined to take a risk here and there, but I don't mind that because I think that this team, ultimately what they need, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is to create more turnovers and more opportunities for Patrick Mahomes in the offense. So I can't wait to see Jaden Hicks out there, man. I don't want to see. I think we could.
You okay?
All pro potential. I see it. I don't want to say it's this year or anything like that. I think it still takes time or whatever, but I think it's some point eventually, I think we end up having an all pro safety.
Absolutely.
CJ?
Breakout player for me. I mean, not really a breakout player because we kind of know who he is, but I think he's going to have a bigger sophomore year than he did rookie year. We talked about him. I was not sophomore year to rookie year, but after he just got paid and deserving of a new contract, I think George Karlaftis takes another jump on this defense. I think he's heard the expectations put on his shoulders, not only from his teammates, but from guys like Tamba Ali, Joe Cullen. And we all saw the clip of Chris Jones challenging him in practice. If you want to go be that guy, go get 15 sacks. And one of my bold predictions that he breaks his own personal record of 10.5 sacks he's had in his career. I think he gets 11, 12 plus this year. I think he's going to be that kind of guy. So he's my breakout player for this year. He needs to be. He has to step up. We need that extra pass rush next to Chris. So he's played in big moments for us in the regular season and for the playoffs. We also saw the Texans game when he dominated, having multiple pressures and getting multiple sacks. I want to see those type of performances on a regular for George Karlaftis. I think he's that good of a player. And when you get paid, they're betting on your production. They're betting on your upside of you playing outside of your projections. So I think he's going to go beyond that. So I'm thinking definitely 12 plus sacks this year for George Karlaftis. He's my breakout player for 2025.
All right. I think that's a fair pick. My breakout player, I don't know. It's tough to pick somebody, just one person, because you think you're going to get a lot of different contributions from everybody. I want to choose a veteran guy that I think is going to be leaned on as far as a pass rush and Charles Omenihu, but that doesn't feel, right where it should be because he's a veteran guy as well. I would have easily said Rashee Rice because I thought that he was going to be in line for an all-pro season, but obviously that's going to be a little bit an issue. You know what? I'll go with my breakout player, being somebody that, you know, a good portion of Chiefs Kingdom doesn't even want to play. A guy that I think has all the athleticism in the world and somebody that they can really play the position very well, as long as he continues to develop and is given a chance to. I think Kingsley Suamataia proves to be, you know, a good starter for this team as you go throughout the season. I know they are. I'm not giving up on the kid. Like I said, you're going to deal with some of the down snaps, and he is going to get beat 1 to 2 times a game, and it's going to be frustrating. I understand it, but I think the weapon that he can be in the run game, the fact that he has the pass protection chops, and the fact that you can protect him early on with how great Josh Simmons obviously looks, and the ability to slide Creed over to him. Like I really do think that he's going to have a good season, and the fact, and this also comes down to them having the mentality of actually running the ball on a consistent basis. I think they need to add that element back a little bit more significantly, and of course, some of this really does matter if Pacheco is healthy, to be able to open up some other aspects of their offense too, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, along those lines, as far as the schematic outlook, this could be like any specific type of coverage. This could be a type of blitz look from Spags. This could be, you know, a personnel set, any type of, you know, obviously passing concept, any specific type of run. What is one thing that you're going to be looking at schematically for the Chiefs in 2025?
Okay, did you?
No, you good.
Any of our, obviously, we all know we're used our 3 safety looks, like DG said earlier, having Jaden Hicks in the middle of the field, letting Shamari and Brian Cook play our true deep, short, and strong, and free safety positions. I want to get back to those 3 corner looks we had back in 2022. Obviously, when we were dominant, when we had Snead and obviously Jalen Watson playing outside and putting Trent back in the slot. I think that's when the defense is at its best, when you have those 3 guys are out there. And for that to happen, we need guys like Christian Fulton or Noel Williams to step up and be a consistent player for us. And if one of those guys can do that, they can allow 2-2 to move around, match up with better matchups as far as like slot receivers, tight ends, whoever's in the middle of the field, who teams like to get the ball to and dictate coverage. Tremy definitely can go out there and essentially take on that matchup and eliminate that player, or go out there and give them a tough time than they usually do. So that's probably my best look for this defense. I think that's when we're at our best, when we have multiple guys out there who can cover across the board. And then that allows us to blitz more. And we think Trent's an amazing blitzer from the slot. He timed it up extremely well with Spags. And obviously, Coach Berry puts him in the position because he trusts him to not only execute the blitz, but also to not give it away and don't give away any tells as far as pre-snap blitzes and post-snap. So I think that's probably the best scheme look for me that I want to see us get back to. I think we were dominant at. Obviously, we didn't have the horses to do that last year. So I want to get back to that for sure. But that's definitely my best scheme look on defense that I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defensively for me, it'd probably be from the line up front, seeing that NASCAR package kind of come in, and seeing a rotation of probably Charles Omenihu next to Chris Jones, or Omar Norman-Lott next to Chris Jones, with Karlaftis and Dana on the outside, coming from the edge positions or whatever, and then switching Omenihu to the edge and putting Karlaftis. That's what I love about this defensive line, is that there's so much versatility with them as far as who you can put on the inside, who you can put on the outside. So I can't wait to see what Spags kind of comes up with, certain twists and stunts. We know how good Charles Omenihu is at those types of things. I think that's honestly where a lot of his sacks are probably going to end up coming from, in my opinion. It's just good to have a guy who we know has unlimited potential in Charles Omenihu being back in this defense and being fully healthy and a full go. And I know Spags is just coming up with so many things in his mind to have that front in a position to go and get out there and back. So can't wait to see that. The NASCAR package is definitely, for me, is what I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And then look, if that NASCAR if that NASCAR package can get going, that's going to be a major piece of that. I mean, if they can do that, then there's going to be a real question mark if he's going to be able to, help out that back end, to your point, CJ, of what that looks like as far as the 3 safety looks is concerned. And I think that the 3 safety kind of looks like, yes, it's probably 4-3.
4-2-5.
I mean, yeah, 4-2-5 is, always kind of the base. But I mean, given the fact of how often that they like to get Leo Chanel on the field, it really is a base 4-3 look. And I don't mind that. Where was I? I was going to say the 3 safety look is an interesting one because they kind of rotated Hicks and Connor and Cook into a little bit of different roles. So where they want to place those guys, honestly, the real situation is Spags always wants to be in a disguise look. So he doesn't want to make it, kind of declared of where those guys are going to end up. And that's a big thing too. So definitely something to watch out for. And schematically, I was actually surprised that CJ didn't actually say this one. I'm excited for the heavy personnel sets and the tight ends.
I was giving defense. My fault. I thought we were going to do offense.
Yeah.
My bad.
Oh, y'all.
Yeah. I thought we were doing one on each side. I was going to do
No.
You go ahead. No, you started. Go ahead.
That's fair. Well, I'll give my defensive one. I just Trent McDuffie in the slot, please. Absolutely. For the love of everything good in the world, please. I beg. As far as offense, like I said, heavy personnel. Actually, I'll let you talk about it. You're the tight end expert. I'll let you talk about it. But I'm just happy we got real receiver threats in the tight end room this year. But outside of that, the other thing I'll talk about is getting Kingsley and Josh Simmons out in space in the screen game when you already know how good Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey are at those aspects of it, and even using those specific guys as pullers and then running behind the right side of the offensive line. Those the screen and run game dynamics, because of the athleticism, in my opinion, that's better on the left side of the offensive line, is going to be a major thing that I'm going to be watching schematically early in the season. Go ahead and give your offensive ones.
No, mine's are definitely the heavy personnel on tight end group. I think it's when we're at our best. 2 years ago, obviously, when Pat won his second MVP and had his second best season, and we won the Super Bowl that year, we led the league in as far as passing yards out of 13 personnel. That's when obviously we had the crew of Trav, Noah, and Jody back in the day. Now you're swapping out Jody for Robert Tonyan. For all those who don't know, he was one of the top highest scoring tight end touchdowns when he was in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers for those 2 years when he won the MVP. So he's obviously one of the better guys in the league. He's been injured. A lot of people don't remember his name, but once I'm sure we get on the national spotlight and they start showing pictures, they'll start remembering his fame and what he can do. But just from a natural, like DMac said, a natural athletic standpoint, when you have three guys who are legitimate threats to catch the ball, that changes everything what you can do from a short yardage standpoint, from second and short, red zone, third and short. I can do essentially whatever I want with those three guys. I can line them up all outside, bring them in, and we can condense and throw the football. I can line them up out wide and then run the football. It just gives a defense so many more problems and complications when you're in a personnel group, because when they bring three tight ends, if I'm a defensive coordinator, do I want to send multiple safeties? Do I want to send heavy linebackers? Do I want to go under front or over front? Whatever we want to do to match up with it. Whatever you're going to do, we're going to go opposite. So if you're bringing more safeties and more DBs when we go 13 personnel, we're going to run the ball at them, because any of those guys can match up with a DB and get that block and get a first down. If they bring out more big boys, so they have more linemen and more linebackers, then we can play action and throw out of it. And then any of the guys, as far as Trav, Noah, obviously, and Tonyan can win a one-on-one matchup, I'll be very comfortable with making that play call. So it just gives you so much more versatility, which we're going to need in this offense with Rashid being out for 6 weeks. And obviously, fellas, I know everybody loves the 2018 season from Pat. The 2022 season is the best version of Pat Mahomes I've ever seen. And without Tyreek Hill, was because of the versatility of the offense. We could do whatever we wanted to do. Throw it short, we threw it deep. We could obviously get out of 13 personnel and go heavy. We can get it under center. We can go gun and go RPO game. Everything was at Pat's disposal. And that's why he had, obviously, 10-plus guys catch a touchdown that year. And hopefully that's another thing. He could break that record for himself as well, having multiple guys over double digits catch a touchdown from him. So that's my favorite scheme on the offense. I think that's when we're at our best, because we could just cause so many complications for the defense.
Yeah, I think offensively, I wouldn't say it's not a lot I'm schematically excited to see, because I know how genius of an offensive mind Andy Reid is. I'm excited to see how they utilize their speed this year, how they utilize that explosion that I feel like that they finally have gotten back in their offense with the additions of Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown and Tyquan Thornton. Being able to use those guys down the field, I just feel like once Rashid does come back after those 6 weeks, the middle of the field is going to be completely open for them to feast on. And CJ always says, when you're able to open up the middle of the field, you win a lot of games in that area. So, to see them utilize that speed again, to have that explosion back in their offense is going to be, I think, a difficult challenge for a lot of defenses in this league. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on the speed that they actually have now. So we'll see how it goes. I can't wait to see what Andy Reid does with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see. And like I talked about, getting back to the run game, the screen game, because of the athleticism that you have, I think they need to be able to take advantage of it on a consistent basis. So we'll go with the bad news, quote unquote, first. Let's give me one concern. It doesn't have to be on each side of the ball. Just give me one for the 2025 NFL season for you guys.
Biggest concern. I mean, always for me, it's just protecting Pat. Whenever Pat gets time, he's going to go out there. He's going to do what he does. He's going to throw 35 to 40 touchdowns, going to throw for 4,000 to 4,500 yards. Going to be super efficient on third down, super efficient in the red zone. But all of that revolves around how does the left side of the line really with Josh Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia. If those guys can perform at an average to above average level, we'll be fine. And then we're going to go out there and perform well and score a lot of points and give our defense a break because they've been carrying the load for us the last 2 years, and rightfully so, because this offense was the carry the load of this team for the first 4 years of Pat's career. So it's time for the offense to get back to carrying the load and being that dominant force that we're used to seeing them be. We're time to get back to the 30-point games and being super efficient. And we've been efficient on third down like we have been the last 2 years. So that really didn't change. But you want to see, like DG said, the explosive plays, the 20-plus yard, the chunk plays, and getting back to teams really fearing us and making the safeties back up, which will respect the field even more and make it open for guys like Kelsey and Rasheed. So that's my biggest fear is just, can we protect Pat? If we protect 15, everything will be fine.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern right now, I am a little leery about how the run defense is gonna look. But I do think I would hope that it'll look like last year, but I'm gonna err with caution because I don't know if it'll look the same as it did last year. That Seattle game, I know, gave a lot of people a lot of fears about how it was gonna look. But
like Bob Sutton all over again.
Yeah, I do think it's something that they do eventually get figured out. But I do think it's one of those things where early on in the year it may look a little rough at first. But that's probably my biggest concern right now. It's just the run defense. If they can get that corrected and make sure that's all shored up, I think they'll be fine.
There you go. I'm not mad at either of those answers as far as the concerns. I've talked about it a lot. I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable with where the offensive line is than I was kind of coming into this training camp, really, after what we've seen from Josh Simmons and honestly what we've seen from Jalen Moore. If Jalen Moore hadn't looked as good as he did in preseason at right tackle, then the Jawan Taylor thing would be a massive concern. But feel better about it where it is right now. Del Monte, for the record, Hicks will get plenty of time in the box. Yeah, that's where I think he's best at right now. But not to play, he can play the split safety and robber stuff too. But he'll get plenty of time in the box. We saw him in the slot against Coastal Loveland versus the Bears in that dress rehearsal too. But the concern for me is just the secondary pass rush. I think that I can talk myself again. I confidence as far as offensive line. The weapons I think will be good, if not even better. For what things are going to look like as far as that is concerned as well. The diversity of weapons using the every personnel sets. I think the linebacker room with Drew Tranquil gets better. That is also a concern of mine because he was not good last year. And then the secondary, I think, will end up working out again if we get more McDuffie in the slot. Secondary pass rush is a concern. I haven't seen a lot of things that really are encouraging from Charles Omenihu. Ashton Gelati and Omar Norman-Lott have not been all that impressive as rookies. Obviously, Felix Nduke-Uzama is gone for the season. Obviously, George Kalafdis is the number 2, and we know he's a hustle guy. I don't really see much from Mike Dana coming about. So the secondary pass rush is the major concern. Jerry Tillery at least showed me a little bit of something. So that is going to be my 2025 major concern. And some of that's mitigated. Of course, Spags is going to do his blitzing thing to set that up. But still, that's something I would have liked to have been a little bit more encouraged about. So with that being said, give me the one thing that you'll be excited for 2025 coming up this season.
For Patrick Mahomes to kill all the narratives. All the off-season talking, I know he tries to clamor that he doesn't hear the noise or whatever, he doesn't listen and blah blah blah. He's listening for sure. So just to silence all the naysayers, all the people who think he's the third best quarterback in the league, and and he lost it and he's I seen somebody say he's washed and things of that nature. So yeah, to kill all those narratives is what I'm excited for, and I think it's really stupid for people to continue to keep going down this road and doubting him and saying all these things about him and knowing that, you know, when you've done that, you've been completely wrong. So yeah, I'm excited for that, man.
I'm most excited for having athleticism back in the linebacking group. Obviously, just like I said 2 years ago when we had our 13 personnel, we also had Willie Gay as our quote-unquote, well, Lee was a Leo at the time because he was younger, as our linebacker 4. So having a guy like Jeffrey Bossa, who's another guy I'm super excited for this year, having that juice and athleticism at the linebacker 4 spot is going to be huge for us, especially when we want to have spies, we want to do blitzes, and have certain matchups when we have like an athletic quarterback, especially when we play guys like Jalen Hurts off the back, Lamar Jackson, obviously, Josh Allen. When you're playing these guys, we know they can extend plays with their legs. So having that third linebacker who could be athletic, give other guys a break, like a Drew Tranquil, like DMac stated earlier, giving a guy athletic next to Nick Bolton so you can take the pressure off of him. It just adds so much more of a dynamic ability to your play call sheet. So from Spags, I know I can have Jeffrey Bossa in my back pocket to be that Willie Gay of this defense. I can use him on blitzes and use athleticism. You saw that in the Seattle game. He popped off and flashed off the screen immediately. I'm like, that looks like Willie, because we haven't had that in a couple of years. So I think just having Jeffrey here is going to make Spags' job easier, not only him, but also a lot of the guys in the secondary, because you could tell the athleticism was lacking in Justin Reed's position, no disrespect, but he got picked on a lot last year, and that's why tight ends usually had good days against us. So having guys like Jaden Hicks, like DG stated earlier, and then Jeffrey Bossa being in linebacker 4, we're bringing that athleticism and that youth back to the defense, and I think it's going to help us be a lot more aggressive on third down and stop a lot of big explosive plays. So that's probably the most thing I'm excited for, having the athleticism back in the linebacker group.
CJ was so excited about Jeffrey Bossa, he got a little choked up there.
Come on, Jeff, do it for me.
The thing that's got me excited, the easy cop out will be Patrick Mahomes, of course, but I just want to see the 3 wide receivers on the same field, man. I know obviously we got to wait 6 weeks.
Bro. 6 weeks.
Just please allow Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, and Xavier Worthy to stay healthy this season, man. I want to see these 3 guys be able to attack with Patrick Mahomes. So with that being said, we now can get to the matchups with the Chargers. Yes, I hope that deep ball coming back, man.
That's right, Coffee Black. We back. And you got Quan too.
That is true. Yeah.
If he want to join the game, Monta, you feel me? He can. You feel me? If he want to. You know what I mean?
If he want to.
If he wanted Pat want to join the gang, I'll get him right.
That boy gonna have a do-rag advertisement.
If Pat ever wore a rag, I'll lose it. I'll put that on a shirt. I swear to God. If I ever saw Pat wear a rag, I'm putting it on a shirt. On my mama, I'm putting that on a shirt. I'm wearing that every day. Don't please.
He gonna show up with the
360s.
He gonna show up with the Michael Penix, man.
Hey man. If Pat ever wore a rag, Pat, please wear a rag one time for me, bro. I'll go crazy.
Nah, if he ever wore a do-rag, bro, that would be the funniest thing ever. So
cape or no cape, that's the question.
Right. Really. Let's get into this matchup, man. As far as the Chargers are concerned, give me one matchup to exploit on each side of the ball, guys.
To exploit. I mean, for them, it's always been linebacker play. We've always exploited that very well first down. Our tight ends have always had, usually mainly triad, but have always usually had generally good games against this group. So, and we just talked about Robert Tonyan and Noah Gray being big additions to that tight end room. So that's definitely the matchup I want to take advantage of. They don't really have too many great coverage guys out there. They have a couple guys that can make plays, but nobody that really fears you from a matchup standpoint. So I think Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and Robert Tonyan should all have a chance to score a touchdown this week. But any of them can make a play given the matchup in one-on-one in the red zone for sure.
Yeah, to exploit. I think it's in the trenches. Offensive line defense versus our offensive line versus their defensive line. Like I said, it's no disrespect to the Chargers. They don't have the pass rushers that I feel like you would go into this game and you fear, you know. So if Pat, to me, gets plenty of time back there to kind of operate and do what he needs to do, it's definitely gonna be a long night in Brazil for that Chargers defense is for sure. So that would be the one matchup I would be looking forward to.
All right. Did you guys give your other side of the ball?
Oh, to explain.
I would say attack the offensive line. Obviously, they lost Rashawn Slater. They were used to not playing with both tackles last year because both guys missed. They both weren't on the field for a majority of their season last year, so it's an opportunity. That's something that they're not, I guess, like aware. They're aware of it. They're used to the situation. But I definitely think that's the point. Like DMac said earlier, we have to get to the quarterback. That has to be a premium for us, is rushing the passer with 4 down. Obviously, we're going to blitz. We know Spags is going to send pressure, but we have to be able to generate pressure without always blitzing. So this is a big week for guys. I was like Omar, George, Mike Dana, Charles. Everyone has to step up this week because they're missing a guy. When you have guys that are backups for a reason, you have to treat them like backups. So we have to go out there and dominate and improve our dominance up front for sure. It all starts up front. And like DMac always says, you have to earn the right to rush the passer. So if you stop the run, then you can go out there and show off your pass rush skills, and that's where you get your money and you get paid for sacks. So that's the biggest exploitation I can see on the offense of them for sure.
I don't know if you can exploit this matchup. I would say I'm just more excited to see this matchup. I can't wait to watch Trent McDuffie versus Lad McConkey.
It's gonna be a good one.
That's cinema right there.
The battle of the mix.
Yeah, to see both of those guys. Hopefully, I would assume that this is one of those receiver matchups where Spags is willing to let Trent McDuffie kind of follow and travel with Lad McConkey. Something that we were obviously robbed of last year because I think Lad only played. Did he only play one game against us? Because he didn't play the home game against us that we won the division. Yeah. So to see these two guys go at it, man, the best of the best. We obviously been able to see what Lad McConkey has been able to do in just his 1 year being in the league and how dynamic he's been, especially from the slot position. To see him now go against probably the best slot corner in the league, in my opinion, it's just gonna be. I can't wait to watch that. I don't know if you can exploit it, but I definitely think you got the right guy to go out there and be the Lad McConkey stopper.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I'll say is I think that on the Chiefs offense, I think you can get on the deep ball. And obviously this has been a consistent beating theme throughout the training camp of we want to throw the ball deep. The cornerback situation for me, in my personal opinion, for the Chargers is not good. If you block it up front, you will have time to get down the field with Hollywood, with Xavier, with obviously Tyquan Thornton, even if you want to throw Jason Brownlee down there too. I think you will have the chances to get down the field against the secondary. Derwin James is not the coverage guy that he used to be, and he's always been more of a box safety than a deep guy as well. I feel good about trying to get the deep ball work into in this week. Of course, his famous last words based on how it went last year. And then offense, as far as the defense, obviously what CJ had talked about, being able to earn the right to rush the passer and stopping the run is a big piece of it. Taking advantage of Trey Pipkins, whether it's slot blitzes, obviously the mismatches they can create, they should be able to get after every single one of these offensive linemen outside of Joe Alt, in my personal opinion. But they have to stop the run to make that happen as well. And then I would, there'd be opportunities. If you got to bracket, Lad McConkey, do it. I'm not upset by that decision.
That's the fact.
And put McDuffie elsewhere and shut down some guys, because if you put McDuffie on Quentin Johnson, I know Quentin Johnson not catching the ball, and then you can put the Christian Fulton on Trey Harris, and then you can bracket Lad McConkey if you so choose. There are some deficiencies as far as secondary pass catchers on this team, in my personal opinion.
Quentin Johnson cover himself. What y'all talking about?
Shout out to Keenan Allen. So that's my personal feeling as far as the Chargers are concerned for this matchup. Let's go ahead, get to X factors and game picks. I'll go ahead and go on first. I'll start it off. X factor for this game. I'll believe him. Charles Omenihu has been telling everybody all offseason that he is healthy and he's right. He's about to make an impact. I didn't see it during preseason. Prove me right, Charles Omenihu, and go out there and ball out against what should be mismatches up and down this offensive line, outside of obviously Joe Wald, in my personal opinion. So go out and show me Charles Omenihu and make it a long day for Justin Herbert. That'll be my X factor. Game picks, I will take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs 27, and I'll go with the Chargers 23.
Yeah, that's about what I had. X factor, I'll go. I've been talking about the Titans all show, so I'll stick with that group. I'm gonna go Noah Gray. He'll be one of my favorite guys since he's been drafted. He's definitely in the Noah Gray catches everything category, along with Juju. Every time you have a throw and a play that needs to be made, you go to 83, he usually comes down with it. So, like I said, their linebackers are usually weak in coverage. I think we can exploit that. Obviously, Kelsey and Noah are going to be a big part of that, along with Robert Tonyan. So my X factor would be Noah Gray. Usually when he catches the ball, it's usually for a touchdown or a first down. So if you want to make a big play or take him for an anytime touchdown, wouldn't be a bad idea to sprinkle some money on Noah Gray. And my pick would be, I had a similar thing to DMac, so I'll switch it up a little bit. I'll go Chiefs. Fuck it, I think we do. I'll go Chiefs 30 and Chargers 24.
Okay.
All right. It's so it feels
I think we get back to 30 balls, man.
30 number. That 30 number, man.
I feel we get back to it.
I think we can get some explosive plays. So I did want to do it, but I wanted to do it badly. Go ahead. DJ.
We got Tyquan and Hollywood. I'm like, we got to get the deep ball, man.
Yeah. X Factor. CJ just said his name. I think it's Tyquan Thornton. I think he'll probably have a 2 or 3 big plays down the field. They really open up the offense for the guys over the middle and things of that nature. Game pick. Man, I just think it's been just so much talking in the offseason. I think you're getting a really pissed off Chiefs team.
Usually it's crazy week 1.
Especially the way that you know how things ended in New Orleans and things of that nature. Chargers offensive line is hurt. I gotta say it. I think it's a blowout. I think
get ugly.
Chiefs 34-16. I don't think it's pretty. Maybe I'm a little too cocky on that or whatever. I just think it's just been way too much talking, and I just think the Chiefs are just ready to just silence all the noise, especially with a great week 1 performance or whatever. A lot of people talked last year about how they didn't blow teams out or whatever. They come out this week 1 and they're able to get a blowout in Brazil. Yeah, and set the tone. I think a lot of that noise will be silenced.
All right, I would love to see it, certainly, as far as that is concerned. Now, let's go ahead and do the Tell the Truth trifecta. Happy to be back another season to be able to give you guys our 3 favorite plays, make a little bit of money according to Bet the House Sportsbook. Again, we will be tweeting this out from the account, of course, on game day as we do every single week. So I'll start off. And I wanted to go a different place, but I'm going to stay away from that place for a promo that we have to do in a little bit. I will go with Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown to steal a page out of DG's playbook from last season. Of course, I think we're getting a little bit close, and Kareem Hunt will go ahead and finish it all off.
Yeah, my favorite play last year.
Yeah, it was. You was hammering that, John.
Hey, it was money too. Especially
it was money.
For sure.
It was money.
My favorite play this week, I'm gonna go with another ATD as well, like DMac said. I'm gonna go Xavier Worthy. I think it's plus 130 on FanDuel. When Rashee Rice was out, he was the number 1 target when we got to the red zone. That's even with Kelsey on the field. Obviously, like DMac said earlier, he had a big throw for like a deep touchdown when we played the Chargers last year. Take advantage of that secondary. I think some way or shape or form, Xavier Worthy touches the end zone for sure.
Before DG says his thing, by the way, the Eagles could not cover Xavier Worthy last year in the Super Bowl. The Chargers ain't got a chance in hell of doing it either.
And don't let them tell you that they took their starters out. That is not true.
That's a fact.
That is not the case. Yes. On the second touchdown, cool. Yeah, you might have to take
not the first.
That first one, your starters were in the game.
And he was getting open before that too.
And he was getting open. Yeah, exactly. Anyway. To my pick, I'm going with Noah Gray, the over on his receptions. I think it's 1.5.
Easy cash.
Yeah,
that's a first half cash.
That should be really quick and get out of the way, barring some catastrophic happens or anything. Not gonna work. But I'll take the over on his receptions at 1.5. So
I like it, fellas. I like it.
I like all of those. Look, we should be able to run the ball on this team. Yeah, they lost Puna Ford. I think we should be able to run the ball, especially spreading out, and I think we should be able to technically the air, man. The offense had a good day, in my personal opinion. With that being said, again, we were back with some promos. Underdog Fantasy. Use code True3 or code KingdomCast for $100 deposit match. You do have a free Travis Kelce space to play on Friday. You also have a free Saquon Barkley space to play on Thursday. You get a free pick to add to your entry. Make sure you guys go over there and take full advantage of that as well. And then on the other side, I want to make sure that I pull it up so you guys can see it actually, so I don't mess this up by not putting it on the screen. There it is. We also have an extra special promo with Wings and Things. Game day boxes are in fact back. And make sure you guys check out obviously the KC local area. Friday game day box $28.99. 10 wings, wangs, flats and drums, and 10 tender large fries. What's the drink you get, CJ, with it?
You already know I got to get that pink lemonade, baby. Y'all know how I do.
Me with the
honey
strawberry, bro.
The strawberry.
Only that strawberry, you know.
Gotta get the pink lemonade. You feel me?
Pick up that game day box, man.
Go ahead, get you some ranch and tell them CJ and DG and DMac sent you. You may get a little,
absolutely.
You may get a deal. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Get you a little
Pick
something
me up
with
a
it, man.
4-piece. 4-piece lemon pepper.
Tell country to get it. Tell country to get it for you. You may fuck you.
I'll tell you what, man. There's nothing like having wings and pizza on a football Sunday. And the beautiful thing about Chiefs Kingdom is you get to do it while you're sitting at 1-0, while the rest of the NFL football, watching space ends up stressing about what their team gonna do, baby. On Sunday with that NFL Sunday ticket quad box going, man. I cannot wait. Football is back. I am excited. Red Shirt Podcast coming out tomorrow, noon around that Eastern. I think it was noon Eastern, 11 a.m., I believe.
11 a.m.
That you guys, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you guys do check that out. Going to be a fun interview about the border war. KU, Mizzou, coming up on Saturday. Make sure you guys tune in to watch Red Shirt tomorrow. Kingdom Cast will be back on Thursday with a fun interview that you guys are going to want to tune in as well. Like I said, pay attention to the account. We're going to be tweeting out bold predictions, obviously coming out with our trifecta as well. And then, we will be back next week with some game film to break down going into what will be the Super Bowl rematch. We'll be back with the Tell the Truth tape of the week and our power rankings. And I promise you guys, we'll be laying somebody to rest. We're going to find somebody to lay to rest after week one. We're going to lay somebody the rest of week one. I promise y'all. Sayonara. As always, appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Tell the Truth. Peace out. Go Chiefs.
Peace.